Shame on us. With those three words, on October 30th, 2025, the CEO of MGM Resorts shattered Las Vegas's illusion of unbeatable value, blaming $26 water and $12 coffees for driving visitors away. Vegas's Strip, once packed, now struggles with falling revenue and empty rooms. How did the world's most famous party city lose its fans overnight? And can it ever win them back? In June 2025, a single photo of a $26 bottle of Fiji water at Area shot through TikTok and Reddit, igniting a wave of disbelief. The image was soon everywhere. Screenshots, reaction videos, and comment threads all fixated on the price tag. Within days, a second post surfaced. $12 for a Starbucks coffee at Excalibur. Travelers and locals alike piled on, sharing their own receipts and stories. A $25 plate fee for room service became a running punchline, while a $33 combo for coffee and a bagel was held up as proof that Las Vegas had lost touch with reality. These weren't isolated complaints. Each viral post fed the next, forming a steady drumbeat of outrage. Influencers and travel bloggers compiled the receipts into lists. Mainstream outlets picked up the story, and soon, nickel and diming became the city's new reputation. The narrative moved faster than any PR response. Guests posted screenshots with captions like, "Never again," and "Vegas isn't for regular people anymore." By the end of the summer, the backlash was impossible to ignore. MGM's own CEO, Bill Hornbuckle, would later admit, "We lost control of the narrative this summer." The phrase echoed across industry news, capturing the moment when public perception turned. Price tags became symbols, and every new receipt was ammunition for those who felt betrayed by the promise of affordable fun. The damage wasn't just online. As the receipts kept coming, so did the cancellations and negative reviews. Guests who might have shrugged off a single expensive coffee now saw a pattern, a citywide strategy that put profit over experience. The outrage had a real-world cost, one that would soon show up on MGM's balance sheet. MGM's third-quarter numbers laid bare the financial toll of a summer defined by outrage and retreat. Las Vegas net revenue for MGM Resorts landed at approximately $2 billion, a decline from the previous year. Occupancy across Strip properties slipped to 89%, down 5 points from 2024. The average daily rate, once a reliable pillar, edged down to $236, a 3% drop. Revenue per available room fell even further, down 8% to $210. These aren't just abstract figures, they reflect thousands of empty rooms and missed opportunities on the casino floor. Segment profitability told a similar story. MGM's Las Vegas EBITDA, a key measure of core cash flow, settled near $601 million for the quarter, trailing last year's results. Food and beverage revenue, usually buoyed by bustling restaurants and bars, came up short as guests pulled back on extras. The dip in table win percentages added another layer of pressure, thinning margins in a business that depends on volume and steady spend. For the MGM finance team, these numbers weren't a surprise. Internal forecasts had already adjusted for a softer demand mix, and the reality that value-tier properties like Excalibur and Luxor were feeling the brunt. Analysts tracking the call noted that even with citywide events and convention bookings, the core leisure segment was underperforming. The balance sheet reflected what guests had been saying for months. When prices lose touch with perceived value, the city's economic engine stutters. The quarterly report didn't offer comfort. Instead, it confirmed that the backlash was more than noise. It was a force strong enough to reshape the Strip's financial landscape in real time. Every percentage point lost in occupancy or room rate translated into millions in vanished revenue, putting the impact of a single viral receipt into sharp, measurable focus. September 2025 arrived with a number that couldn't be ignored. Las Vegas welcomed just over 3.1 million visitors that month, an 8.8% drop compared to the previous year. For a city built on constant motion, the slowdown was impossible to miss. Hotel lobbies that once buzzed with arrivals now saw empty stretches between check-ins. Even midweek, taxi lines shrank, and casino floors at value-focused properties like Excalibur and Luxor felt noticeably lighter. Year-to-date, the trend was just as stark. Industry sources tracked visitation at roughly 25.8 million for the first 8 months of 2025, down nearly 8% from the same stretch in 2024. Some outlets cited higher numbers, closer to 28.9 million through September, but the consensus was clear. Fewer people were coming, and the gap was growing wider as the year wore on. Behind these numbers sat a series of disruptions that hit the city's core. Spirit Airlines, once a major pipeline for budget travelers, slashed capacity and canceled routes after bankruptcy turbulence. By the end of summer, Las Vegas counted about 400,000 fewer Spirit passengers than the year before, a blow that rippled through the most price-sensitive hotels. Southern California, long the Strip's most reliable drive-in market, also faltered. High gas prices and a barrage of negative headlines turned day trips and weekend getaways into a tougher sell. For families and groups looking for affordable fun, the math stopped working. The impact landed hardest on mid-market resorts. At properties where a few dollars can tip the balance between a booked room and an empty one, even small shifts in visitor flow translated into hundreds of vacant beds each night. Staff at these hotels reported more quiet nights, fewer lines at the buffet, and a drop in casual spending on shows and slots. The city's volume-driven model depends on steady, predictable streams of guests. When those streams dry up, the effects are felt everywhere, from the front desk to the casino cage. Las Vegas has weathered downturns before, but this time, the slide wasn't triggered by a global crisis or sudden disaster. It was the slow erosion of trust and value, measured in empty rooms and quieter streets. The data told the story: fewer arrivals, lighter crowds, and a city searching for its lost momentum. A new barrier arrived in October 2025, when the U.S. imposed a $250 visa integrity fee for visitors from non-waiver countries. Overnight, that extra cost landed like a warning sign for international travelers, especially those planning leisure trips. Analysts predicted a multi-point drop in overseas arrivals and spending, compounding the city's existing troubles. The impact was especially sharp for Canadian visitors, Las Vegas's largest foreign market, where a mix of unfavorable exchange rates, price sensitivity, and policy backlash drove a pronounced decline. Canadian travel forums filled with stories of canceled trips and shifting plans, while industry trackers logged the shortfall in Strip traffic. Inside MGM, the response was swift but selective. CFO Jonathan Halkyard announced that more than 90% of targeted price corrections had been completed by the end of September. The focus landed on value-oriented properties, Excalibur, Luxor, and New York, where even small price changes could sway bookings. Resort and parking fees stayed in place, but food and beverage pricing, minibar costs, and certain service charges were rolled back. Management's bet: restoring perceived value would lure back the price-conscious guests who had abandoned the Strip. Booking data offered a glimmer of hope. During the citywide fabulous 5-day sale, MGM booked over 300,000 room nights, nearly double its typical promotional pace. The surge confirmed that when prices dropped, demand snapped back, at least in the short term. It was a reminder that Las Vegas remains a deals-driven market, even after months of negative headlines and viral outrage. Still, Wall Street's reaction was cautious. Financial press coverage flagged that MGM's profit miss was tied directly to Las Vegas softness, even as consolidated revenue ticked up on the strength of Macau. Analysts cited persistent pricing risk and warned that international headwinds, especially the new visa fee, would not fade quickly. The Street's verdict, price corrections could help, but structural obstacles would keep pressure on the Strip's recovery well into the next quarter. In the third quarter of 2025, MGM Resorts reported Las Vegas occupancy at just 89%, down 5 points from the year before, as viral images of $26 water and $12 coffee fueled a nationwide backlash. CEO Bill Hornbuckle's public admission, "Shame on us," marked a rare moment of accountability from the Strip's biggest operator. The data is clear. Visitor volume fell by nearly 9% in September, and net revenues dropped to $2 billion as travelers stayed away in protest. While MGM has since implemented over 90% of its promised price corrections and citywide deals have sparked brief booking surges, the long-term impact on trust remains uncertain. Policy headwinds, like the new $250 visa fee and a sharp Canadian decline, continue to challenge recovery. What's still unknown is how soon Las Vegas can regain the loyalty it lost in 2025. As the facts show, prices can be rolled back overnight. But rebuilding a reputation takes far longer.